Hi everyone, today I am making some crispy...
Oh, wait a minute, let's start that again.
Hi everyone, today I am making some crispy, crunchy ground beef crackers. Welcome to my channel. My name is Anita and this is where I show you how I lost 145 pounds following an animal-based ketogenic diet. All right, today I'm up early because I'm going to make some ground beef crackers. To get them crispy and crunchy like these crackers here, and the way that I like them is 10 hours in the dehydrator. I'm also going to experiment with a batch in the oven today to see how long that takes. And a lot of you have asked me about cooking it in the oven. I've certainly made other meat chips in the oven before, but I've never tried the ground beef. So today we'll do that. And I also have a super cool macro tracking hack for you on these later, so you don't have to like weigh out your ground beef and measure it and then weigh, you know, these things and try to calculate how many of these come from a pound of ground. Like, forget all that. You're gonna love my trick. So let's get started. I have about 2.5 pounds of extra lean ground beef. Yes, you can use lean. Yes, you can use regular. Each type of ground beef, the more fat it has, the longer it's going to take to dehydrate. Not sure about the baking part because today's an experiment for me. But if you're going to use the dehydrator, I recommend buying the leanest ground beef you can, unless you're fine with just letting it, you know, maybe starting it in the evening and just letting it run overnight. That's an option too. So, but I just wanted you to know that's why I've chosen the extra lean ground beef. It also leaves way less fat in the bottom, almost no fat in the bottom of the dehydrator. So if you're going to use regular, make sure you allow for that. Make sure you've got something to catch the fat in the bottom of your machine, whatever that machine is. Get this opened. All right, so what I like to do is roll this out super thin. The thinner that you roll it out, the faster they will dehydrate. I'm using wax paper. The wax paper is not a must. I could just use my board and rolling pin. It's just less cleaning for me afterwards. And I'm gonna do it between 2 sheets of wax paper. So let's get some here. I'm not sure how many sheets this is going to be. I'm just gonna flatten this a little bit, put my sheet on, and there's my rolling pin. I want it to fit on this sheet, this dehydrator sheet here. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. So all I use on mine is Redmond salt. If you have something else that you like, you know, some kind of smoked salt might be nice. Whatever you normally would use, any type of, whatever seasonings that you are able to tolerate. I feel better these days just sticking to salt. I keep, you know, I have tried different things and I tell you, I find new things all the time that I'm sensitive to. So you can also sprinkle this salt on afterwards while it's still warm is a good way to go. I like doing it like this. So the other thing is, because I kind of like cracker shapes, I'm going to do a little bit of scoring. I mean, and this isn't going to be perfect by any means, but it just helps later. All right, let's see, this goes in that way, so I want it on this side. Press it down a little bit, and so make this sheet, I forgot to say, make this sheet long enough so you can kind of fold it over a bit like that, and then hang on to it while you flip. And I did put it on the wrong side. Again.
I did this last time too.
Okay, that's okay. Going with it. Oh, lost a little bit there. Teddy is down there volunteering to have my little extra bits. I have a little corner here. You can have one later. Okay. Let's just swing over here to my dehydrator. I just want to talk about this for a moment. I meant to preheat this. I like to preheat this before I start so it's nice and hot going in there. The highest this goes is 165, and that's what I use. So it's at 165, and I'm going to press this.
Oops.
Need to change it to time. I'm going to go up to 10 hours here. There we go. And I'm going to let that preheat for a couple minutes while I do the next tray. Oh, I forgot to score it. Okay, the dehydrator is preheated now. I'm going to put these 2 trays in there, get them going, and then I'm going to do one for the oven. I've got the oven on 300 degrees Fahrenheit, thinking that should be warm enough. The dehydrator is 165, so yeah, so I'll be right back. I'm going to do a sheet for this. This is just a regular pan. There's my oven with a rack. Now I wish the rack had smaller gaps, so we'll see how this goes. I do have a plan B in case this doesn't work. I forgot to score one of those sheets. It's easier to score when it's sitting on this flat surface. And again, you know, it's not 100% necessary. It's just to help break them into cracker shapes. All right, let's see how this goes. I don't know. Oh, I can already see a mistake I made. I didn't leave enough on the edge here. It has to be. There we go. My fear is that the gaps are too big on the rack, but I don't know, I think it's gonna hold. I think I'm going to, this will shrink up, but I think we'll go there. This is going in the oven now. 1 sheet. Now, you know, if you've got an oven with multiple racks, obviously you can, if you don't have a dehydrator, you can just stack your oven up, but we'll see how this goes later. This is my first time making the ground beef chips in here. I'm going to run that for an hour and just check and see where it is and report back later. I've got 2 racks in the dehydrator, 1 rack in the oven. I'm going to do just 1 more for the dehydrator, but it's going to take a few hours now for everything, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Okay, so we have the dehydrator full of trays of ground beef crackers and the oven. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all that to bake, all that yummy, beefy goodness, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Element. Element is a super tasty electrolyte drink. It contains a science-backed formula of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. It's something I've been using for a couple of years to control my nightly leg cramps. It does an amazing job of that, as well as keeping you hydrated on this journey of optimal eating. The things you can do with Element are hot and cold drinks. You can bake with it. You know, I've made all kinds of things with Element. If you search through my videos, you can see a few of those samples. Sometimes though, you know, the easiest thing is just a nice big drink for me. Element right now is offering to my viewers this 8 flavor sample pack that you can get with any of the drink mix purchases. When you go to my link below, which is drinkelement.com/ketogenic woman, that's DRINKLMNT.com/ketogenic woman, this will automatically be added to your cart. and is free with a drink mix purchase. You can also pick up some of these cool new sparkling water. It's so good. They are now available as well. So thank you, Element, for sponsoring today's video. Okay, here we are with the oven baked chips. I'm going to tell you about these in just a second. First, after we stopped rolling on the first segment there this morning, the camera crew asked a very good question, which I didn't even think about, but it is a good question. So let's talk about it. Why did I choose to bake these at 350 instead of 165, which is what the dehydrator temperature is set at? So the dehydrator temperature at 165 is the maximum, and that's what I choose. We're dealing with raw meat here, so I wanted to go as high as I can. I have had people contact me and saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. You know, you're gonna die." All those sorts of things. I've been doing it for years, but I understand the concern, and I understand that probably if you ask the government or whoever answers those types of questions, they'll probably say, yeah, you're gonna die, you know, of something if you do that. But they're also the same people that have said I would die by eating nothing but red meat, and here we are. So I don't really give much credence to it, but that is me, and I'm doing what I feel comfortable with. I eat raw eggs. I eat, you know, medium rare cooked ground beef. I dehydrate raw meat. I do all those dangerous things, and I'm comfortable with it. If you are not, this may be a good way to go. So the reason I set it at 350 is I thought, okay, well, in the past, I have made meat chips like with thinly sliced meat in the oven when I didn't have my big fancy dehydrator back there. Made them in the oven at 350, takes an hour or so, and you get these nice crispy chips. So I thought, I'll try that with this. So I took them out after the first hour, and they were pretty much shrunk down like what you see here. Like it just went from filling up the whole tray to filling up half the tray within the course of an hour. But it was quite leathery, like pliable, so it was more like jerky. So I turned down the heat because I thought, okay, that seems too high. It's shrinking too fast. And I turned it down to 250 and let it go for another 2 hours. So entirely up to you how, you know, your take the temperature and go where you're comfortable. I just didn't want to leave the oven on all day at, you know, below 200 when I also had the dehydrator going. So this is a 3-hour project in total, and they are breaking apart nicely now. So, you know, we're getting our chips here, and they're crunchy. Now, that brings up another question. What if you want jerky instead of crunchy chips? Just take it all out sooner, including these ones in the dehydrator. At about the 6-hour mark, these are perfectly fine for jerky. They will be chewy. I just prefer the crunchy, crispy chips. So I have my chips here, and I'm going to try one. The oven works to make chips out of ground beef. So the trickiest part really is just getting them on a tray here, and I think that's great. So I will have these, and we're going to come back later to take those out, and I'll save these aside so you can see the difference between the two, because those have not shrunk yet, at least not very much. They are shrinking away from the sides of the tray. They will be larger and flatter because of the slow drying time. These shrunk up right away and are, you know, much smaller. And so that is really the main difference, but they dried out rather nicely. So the first hour was at 350, 2 hours at 250, and I got chips, you know, depending on how you like it. Okay, so we'll be back when these are finished. I will give you the my wonderful macro hack for how to figure out what the macros are for these. So we'll be back soon with the last segment. It's been 10 hours. I'm gonna go grab those beef crackers. We've got our chips here, crackers. Let's see, is it a cracker or is it a chip? So these are done. They're coming apart quite easily. This was 10 hours, 165 in the dehydrator. If you have one of those round, I think they're called Nescos, go over to Nia's Way channel. She makes something like this in hers, and she will have all the times and all that, because I don't know the temperature and the time or how those ones work, but she does do it. So just wanted to let you know that. Now, one thing I want to tell you, well, two things I want to tell you. We're going to talk about the difference between the oven baked and these here that were in the dehydrator. And I'm going to tell you how to do the macros, so easy. So if you are serving these, like say you wanted to go take them to a party with some dip and you want people to be able to dip, I think these ones are thicker and more sturdy for dipping, like say egg salad or a seafood salad of some kind, or crab dip or whatever. There's lots of good carnivore dips you could make. These are much thinner, and because even though I rolled them out to the same thinness, because I had the higher heat on, these shrunk very fast and became very thick and sturdy. So quite a lot stronger than these ones here. These are still, good and sturdy, I think, but you'll just have to try it out yourself and see what you think. I think either way, they're gonna be tasty. I would love to take these to a party, with something to dip. I think people will, even non-carnivores, will like them, I believe, especially with the little bit of saltiness. So how to store them, I just keep them in a container. Don't refrigerate them. You could if you wanted to, but I find they last several days. I don't do much snacking. So I like to have these on my plate as part of my meal. So here's how you count them. So you go into Carb Manager and find bags of Carnivore Crisp ground beef sliders or Carnivore Snacks ground beef sliders. So I got this idea when I was at the retreat because I tried the Carnivore Snacks ground beef cracker and decided I really liked it. It was actually more like these thicker ones that are here, not like these thin crispy ones. But I looked at the back, it was just ground beef and Redmond salt, and it occurred to me, well, they've dried this out. If an ounce of their crackers are these macros, then why wouldn't an ounce of my crackers be those same macros? So I've been counting them just as Carnivore Snacks, ground beef sliders, easy peasy, because they're already dehydrated. So they just, whatever they say a half ounce is or an ounce, that's what, measure it out, and it's going to be the same macros. So there you go. You can thank me down the road for that one. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy them. They're great with some eggs. I forgot, this is the one I forgot to score. So I'm just going to break that one up. They're great with egg salad, salmon salad, butter. I really like them just with butter. So good. If you do cheese, they're good that way too. So I hope you give these a try either in the oven or in the dehydrator and enjoy them. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Baby, sit. Oh, good girl. Okay. Yes, I know you're not doing so well with your hearing and your sight anymore. It's okay. You stay there like that. We're gonna give one to Teddy. Here's another one for you. Good girl. Good boy.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Today I am making. I don't want to look like I was choking to death. Cut! Oh boy. Tummy troubles.